Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation of the Galaxy Battles South American qualifier here. We've got the very first round here for you guys in the group stage. First round is going to be Mad Kings versus Show.Rising. We're going to be seeing these guys square off in a best-of-3 series to decide who is going to be advancing forward, eventually making it to the playoffs of the South American qualifier. And we have already a little bit of a draft on our hands. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. Here, I myself am Blaze, picking up the microphone after quite a long hiatus. It's been many months since I have cast some Dota 2, but I've been enjoying a lot of this 7.07 patch, and of course these little sub patches here and there sprinkled in to just keep things interesting and balanced out. So, gonna go ahead and jump into the draft here, where we do have, believe Show.Rising had the first pick here. Now, PTT, some of you guys may know him under the alias CYS. He's drafting up for Show.Rising, selecting the Winter Wyvern as their first pick. So, Rubik Ochre, showing the Mad Kings just really want to focus on a really aggressive stance. Being very active and early on. We saw even like in Midas mode a little bit earlier that Ogre Magi does have a lot of potential against certain heroes, and really it's just about enhancing core heroes. It's about winning out lanes, and it seems like that's what they're going to be doing. I mean, Omni Knight picked up here. They're really going to be focused on the early mid team fight. They don't have a single AoE stun unless you count the secondary effect of telekinesis. They have a lot of control lacking. But what they lack in control, they make up in steroids. They can turn a carry into some immortal slayer with the combination of Bloodlust and Omni Knight's Repel. He could just go in. There's really very little you can do about it. You can obviously try to repel him or use the Winter's Curse to try to hold him off, or you can amp him up and try to bring him down. But it's very likely that the Mad Kings is able to build themselves up nicely. But you'll notice that Show.Rising didn't ban out the Phantom Assassin. All they did was pick up the Viper. Viper is a great hero against PA, which works well with the Ogre and the Omni. But more importantly, not only does he have the Nether Toxin, which will break her passives, but also no matter what carry is picked up by Mad Kings, the Viper's ultimate will always go through that repel. So they have a hero that can kite any of those strong melee heroes enhanced by Ogre and Omni. And I think they have a pretty good answer overall. Like, they got some good physical damage output. They've got two effectively disables that will go through magic immunity. So yeah, this repelled target won't be able to like stick like glue to the target they want. And that's a big difference. And when it comes down to how Mad Kings want to play their game. See, they pick up the Razor instead, so they're going to go for a lot more like early game push emphasis. The damage steal of Static Link allowing them to win the lane, and then turning that into a couple early tank items to just start bringing down towers. I really can't see them going late game with this lineup. Mad Kings, they definitely lack control. They definitely lack scaling. So at this point, I think you just all in on the push, and you just go for another pushing hero. That would allow you to just guarantee that you get a lot of early towers down, and try to translate that into a high ground push around maybe the 20-minute mark. So let's see here. Beyond that, we do have the fourth pick coming out for Show.Rising, as they're dipping pretty heavily into reserve time. Bans were the Tidehunter and Terrorblade, as well as the Bloodseeker and Doom for the most recent set. It's pretty interesting to see the Tidehunter banned out, just because they already picked up like an Omni Knight, Ogre, and Rubik, and unless you're playing a carry or a mid Omni Knight, then there's no way that you're going to be running that Tide. So I've only been seeing Omni Knight in the offlane recently, and I can't imagine a draft where Tide, Omni, Ogre, and Rubik all work together. It just doesn't make sense to me, but somewhere in COS's mind that possibility existed, and he did not want to have to deal with it. So we're going to go see that one taken off the table, and instead, the fourth pick with the last minute remaining. What are Show.Rising looking for? They've got a pretty good mid, so probably just looking for a carry that can deal well with their damage being stolen and still be very aggressive here in the early stages of the game. Juggernaut comes to mind, but they go for the Underlord as their own offlaner. So you've got a 4-position Slardar, a 5-position Wyvern, your mid Viper, and now an offlane Underlord. However, we have seen a couple of teams run this hero safe lane. They go for maybe like an aggressive duo or trio on the offlane, and then the Underlord does his thing 1v1 in the safe lane. which can be very effective. It definitely can, but I also like Winter Wyvern is one of those heroes that kind of is hit or miss in a try versus try. You're up against Ogre Rubik with the possibility of like Omni rotating. It's a little risky. I think roaming Slardar and babysitting Winter Wyvern is going to be your kind of tried and true, which means Underlord would have to be like that suicide offlaner one versus 3. We'll see though. They ran out the Tinker here, another very active mid laner in the early game. Not necessarily a pusher, but definitely one hero that benefits a ton from the early influx of farm that towers give you. And yeah, I definitely think it's a worthy ban, just based on the fact that some players play this so very effectively. Medusa banned out on the other side. Just, you know, like I said, Mad Kings do not want this to go late game, and they don't want to be put on a timer. They want to be able to end this game maybe in 20 minutes, maybe in 45. Like, they just want to say, okay, there's no point in the game where we're absolutely boned, where we're absolutely completely outmatched just based on the scaling of heroes alone. As far as overall favoritism, I would say Mad Kings are probably a little bit favored here. This is, I believe, on Brazilian servers, but all the same, Mad Kings have shown in past matchups that they're just a bit of a stronger team compared to T-Show. So I would say that going into it, Mad Kings might have the advantage, but their draft seems so one-dimensional. It's just so all about single target focus. It's about pushing, and it's about just gaining the early map control without really having a good initiator. I feel like as the game wears on, Mad Kings are going to struggle. And right now, it looks like they're going to be picking up either a safe laner or an off laner. And I would imagine a safe laner. They've got about 90 seconds left on reserve time, so they're fine to kind of think it over. But I imagine, yeah, it's just going to be a pushing core in the safe lane. In the meantime, you've got Luna picked up for Show.Rising, a hero that can do really well with the heroes that she has behind her. I mean, you've got Eclipse, obviously, for the team fights that can help any hero against any hero that's not repelled. So Omni Knight isn't necessarily the saving grace for multiple allies, just the one. And on top of that, you got Winter Wyvern to keep her alive. Like, that's a big deal against a lot of physical damage coming in. You're not going to be able to kill Luna with magic damage alone with this kind of a lineup. There's just not enough of it. So if she is able to pop off Eclipse and then get Cold Embrace in the fight, whether or not she has a Glimmer Cape on her, she's going to survive. And that's a big deal. So she's going to farm up, she's going to be their scale, and she's going to be able to push them towards the late game, which I'm looking forward to. Beyond that, Mad Kings thinking for their last carry. Are we going to see something like a Juggernaut? So we're going to see some kind of pushing emphasis, maybe something that can control themselves a little bit better in the fight, like a Sven. Hard to say right now, but time keeps on ticking, and they'll have to make their decision shortly. It's really hard because, like, all the heroes that I want them to pick, Viper is great at counteracting. They have so many tools to kite with the Viper, with the Underlord's Pit, and potentially with short cooldown stun from Slardar. So they go for the AM. I think that's pretty solid as far as just, yeah, early pressure. You're looking for an early influx of gold, so you're going to have some momentum. And he doesn't get, you know, slaughtered by Luna. He doesn't get controlled by any of these heroes, really. Like, the root is kind of annoying, but it's not going to be the end-all be-all against him. So I think AM is a pretty solid pickup, actually. He did get nerfed in the most recent patch, so he is not as strong as he was before. But despite that, a lot of pros players are still consider him quite a nuisance to go up against. And of course, things like the cheaper Battle Fury and stuff always help out too. As we see Winter Wyvern breaking some cosmetics here and spreading her model across the draft. Overall, I still liked what T-Show are bringing to the table, but if Eureka really is able to rock it on the anti-mage, then maybe it's fun. We'll see. Alright, so here we are getting into the game. And starting things off here with no smoke from either side just yet. And one smoke is on the Winter Wyvern. We'll see if he decides to pop it. And make their way down to try to contest the bottom Radiant Rune. Looks like that's a no. Alright, so it's just going to be kind of both teams walking right up to each other. A couple of heroes like Luna are very quick on their feet, but she's going for the aura first, so I think it's pretty unlikely that either team gets caught out here. They'll just kind of walk their ways, both like catch eyes on one another and then just kind of go their separate way. But there's the smoke coming through. Maybe they will actually be able to lead fast enough with Slardar. He's got the boots of speed, and he is looking to go in on the flank. Omni-Knight has some options. Who is he going to try to keep alive here? There's going to be a lot of damage coming in very quickly, and they're not going to get the crush off. Nice lift from Rubik. Crush is on 2. It's going to be Ogre to go down first, despite the purification, and I think they'll pick up the Omni-Knight as well. A few more hits here. PTT dropping him down. That's a double kill for Therence. This Luna has only an attack range of 330, but with the fast movement speed is able to pick up the double. So that's quite impressive. Yeah, holding on to the smoke there. Usually you'll see teams smoke right at their tier 3 tower to get into position faster, but they just kind of withheld it, waited till the right time, got the flank, and got the perfect opportunity. Even with a really nice Rubik lift, there's only so much you can do in that situation. Level 1 Omni is not going to save anybody. And yeah, they get a very nice exchange. Bounty runes going down. It looks like it's just going to be a 2 for 2, with both top bounty runes going to the Radiant, assuming Omni-Knight's able to make his way up there. But that does mean that 666 is going to have to make a long way if he wants this bounty. It's a nice rune, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. Look at just all the experiences. Oh, he's going to TP in. Okay, he's going to TP in immediately thereafter. Doesn't get any block whatsoever, but he does get a pretty critical bounty. And Therence actually grabs the top one. 3 for 1. So, at least he got a lot of last hit damage when he's able to static link heroes like that, but you know he's under pressure. I mean, as soon as PTT hits level 2, he's going to start really punishing this low HP pool with the poison attack harassment. And there's, unless he gets some lucky uphill misses, there's only so much that 666 can do. Wyvern makes his way back up top, but it's actually going to be bottom where the next kill is going to be. So that is going to be the Underlord. Just a little bit too far forward for himself. Suicide lane is pretty much the word for it, as it's just harder and harder. The creep wave meeting so far on the Radiant side, and at least this double Radiant creep set will push it back the other way. But for right now, not an easy lane for Mr. Hijack. Pretty quiet here, as Omni-Knight's just fishing for his level 2 as soon as he can get it. And, you know, obviously the Viper's going to win this lane with the 2 versus 1 factor, but I was hoping I wouldn't miss that again, but unfortunately I did. It is going to be the pickup Ignite, and just an easy kill on the Underlord. This hero is so tanky once he gets towards like level 5, level 6, and gets some real items behind him, but right now he's extremely squishy, and he just keeps on hanging around in this position. He just has to be more patient, or it's going to be costing his team a lot as he continues to lose out on experience and starting to give more and more towards Mad Kings. I mean, it's not... I mean, you know exactly what you're up against, right? Like, you know... I mean, the Invis changes things, of course, but you just have to stay out of Telekinesis Ignite range, or at least close enough to your tower that those two don't really matter too much. But we do have the jump-in attempt here. Lift is not properly timed, and maybe the Slardar could have been punished a little bit more, but in the end it just doesn't work out. The Invis rune isn't really much of a surprise factor when PTT is already making his way back thanks to the static link. So this is much more what I expected the lane to be like, as just Yurita harassing the Underlord, just burning his mana gradually so he can't do much Firestorm action, and then more lane pulling from Mad Kings. It's just he's been way too far forward, and they found opportunities to just punish it over and over, and they've I'd say lucked out a little bit in that regard. Yeah, now he's playing back very far indeed. And look at this stack. This is pretty monstrous, but they're not going to be able to farm it for quite some time. I mean, obviously Battle Fury is pretty high on the shopping list for Anti-Mage, but it's just going to take a lot of time before he gets there, and it's much more likely the Firestorm or somebody, maybe Luna, cleans it up. So you have a jump here on mid. Nice use of the Nether Toxin there, but in the end, 666 just a little bit too fast. On the other hand, Hijack gets lifted up, gets dropped down, very slow indeed. Even with the Slaughter trying to rotate in, it's too late for Mr. Underlord. Hijack goes down, and 4 for 4 tries to get some vengeance for him. Eureka blinking out in just a moment, and free to go. Meantime, Omni Knight in a pretty similar situation. You'll notice he's only slightly ahead of the Underlord in experience, well, level 3 versus level 2. But the big thing is just that he's not giving up kills. He knows that he can't go up here. He knows that as soon as he goes up, he gets hit up by the Wyvern and get a couple distant beams to the face. But Underlord, he's not been really the most conservative in his movements, and as a result, now we have 3 kills up for Mad Kings. The mid lane, however, obviously going pretty well for both sides. The Razor actually edging out the Viper slightly is a bit of a surprise. Yes, the static link is strong, but he's also been under a lot of pressure from both the Slardar and at times the Wyvern. So the fact that Razor's doing this well is quite considerable, I would say. So small edge for the Dire at this moment, but I think Mad Kings are getting farm on the heroes they wanted. 4 for 4 will end up going down as he's just kind of caught out with no escape. I mean, the farm density is really nice for the anti-mage, pretty solid for the Razor, but you can't forget the fact that there was that first blood double kill as well as the triple rune going towards T-Show. So I really think that the only thing that is not working for T-Show right now is Hijack's offlane, and at some point you just kind of have to back off and maybe even go jungle. Oh, nice movement here onto the mid lane. This could be a big kill onto PTT. 4 for 4 goes for the triple crush. He's able to get the triple crush. PTT fade bolting and walking away, drops down the Nether Toxin, gets hit up by the Cold Embrace, and it's going to be a Rubik to go down from the Slardar. Oh, big turnaround here for T-Show. Triple crush and the Cold Embrace is there, and what was a really nice turn. Unfortunately, the Slardar gets caught out by the Razor's Plasma Field and kind of makes that a null exchange. So, nice little plays, but a little bit of a misstep cost them their advantage there. The big thing, though, is that was initiation on Viper that should have just been a free kill. So the response is still very sound. Could have been amazing, was just good. Soul Ring going to be up for Hijack soon. That's going to be when he can do a lot more, but as it stands right now, he's just kind of holding position. Theron's dropping pretty low here as they make the 3-man rotation up top. It's going to be the use of the Cold Embrace to help him out. Purification comes off cooldown, and a few more right clicks bring him down. Razor does drop down in the mid lane at the exact same time as Slardar and Viper do their damage. So we do see the Wyvern fall there, but I do believe it was the Viper strike that helped secure that kill on the Razor. Yeah, so you'll note that the Unstable Current, the new version, does not really stop single target effects from applying against you. Or, it's not even a preventive measure, it's just like, it dissuades single target abilities to be sent against you. So it's harder for the Viper to chase after he ultis a Razor. But that's not really the case anymore with this new Unstable Current. So it is definitely more difficult for him to stay alive at this particular point of the game. A little bit of a gank play happening here. Winter Wyvern under a lot of pressure. Tries to go for the tree line, but tossed back up and dropped down. 666. Feeling better about himself after that one, but yeah, still kind of being edged out in the lane to this Viper. Not from CS, but just from that death. Terrence has Eclipse, looking for an opportunity. Slardar goes for the sprint here. It is not anywhere near maxed out, so he's not going to be able to stay on top of the degen Omni at this point in time. So we'll look towards item progression towards the mid and late game. It's really T-Show that just want to slow the game down. They're just going to try to kind of build up towards their next thing. So you're going to see, it looks like maybe a Hurricane Pike from both sides, the Razor and the Viper. And then obviously Hijack's going to be looking for the Arcanes into mech. Now, Underlord does not have a mana talent at level 10 anymore, so it's very important that he gets the Arcanes and the Soul Ring. And, you know, it's great if he doesn't die, but for the third time, it looks like that's a bit of an issue. Viper Strike goes out onto Moger, who does not get the TP away. Crush will stop that, and it's now Anti-Mage hiding in the tree line. trying to quell and blink his way through. But he's got a pretty long cooldown. And it's probably just going to TP home. Eclipse coming out up top's going to be enough to bring down the Razor. And with that, oh, that cold brace might not be the best thing. Is it purification time? No, just coming off cooldown now. A moment too late. Otherwise, that could have been an easy double kill for Sword. He's still chasing Therenth. Thinks he's got something, but I would not say this is going to work for you, buddy. In fact, he's going to be caught inside the Malice, inside the Firestorm, and he will very soon be dropping down. A little bit of a goose chase there. All right, so it was really close to being an amazing double, but the purification cooldown is not that brief. So Luna's able to kind of get the upper hand again, killing off 666. A Razor really can't afford to have 2 deaths at this stage in the game. It slows down his progression in a big way.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Viper, on the other hand, I mean, he's just going to go for the Veil? All right, Veil of Discord Viper. Now, this means he's probably going to go for the full magic damage build. You get Spell Lifesteal, you get... Okay, you don't get Corrosive Skin, right? Maybe. Yeah, I think you go for the Corrosive Skin, and then you go for the Viper Strike DPS. And all that combined together, you're able to really build in towards a lot of magical damage. They had a weird, couple patches ago, they had a really weird talent for Viper. And it was like plus 6 DPS on poison attack or something like that. It was really bad. But now they've got some real talents on this guy, and magic damage build might work out for him. 444, going to be taking a lot of damage for it to set up his initiation, but it's going to be enough to once again bring down the Razor, and I can't stress how big of a deal these deaths are. He's just getting further and further away from where he wants to be right now, and you need big rotations from a hero like Omni Knight in order to kind of turn that stuff around, because the Razor needs to start building tank. He needs to start getting big items that will allow him to extend the play on the fight, because the more and more that he dies, the more damage output's coming out from the enemies while he stays the same. It's like treading water, and at this point it's just going to make it really difficult for him to have any impact on the team fights. Anti-Mage, on the other hand, is doing pretty well for himself. Going to have that Battle Fury very shortly, or just about 500 gold off. So finishing up that will allow him to farm out quite a bit. The stack has been cleared at this point, but in general, he's not feeling too bad about himself. It's much more the broader scope of the game and the fact that the Razor's having such a rough time. I mean, if you have to choose between your Underlord feeding a little bit too much and your Razor feeding a little bit too much, it's no question. You want your Razor to build himself up, and whereas Underlord is a hero that can bounce back with his stack farming. He's going to have Mechanism in a decent clip anyway. Smoke up here. Slaughter going to be looking for his opportunity. Does not have the max Guardian Sprint, but it's still going to be able to move very quickly with these Tranquil Boots. He tried to find the flank on anybody denying the mid tower. It's also worth noting that Rubik picked up the last hit on the tower up top, so a lot more farmed than your average 5 position support. And Dire have full understanding of Mad King's movements at this moment. So they're trying to bait the Luna right here. Luna's sticking around just a little bit too long intentionally as Hijack controls the mid lane, and they're looking for their opening. These nighttime eclipses are really strong, but right now at least it seems that they're not going to flash. Ogre sees Luna, sees that he can do nothing about this. What is he doing? He doesn't have a ward. He's just chilling. He's just chilling. I have no idea what this Ogre intends to do right now. But he's here. Mogre the Ogre.
Nothing for you.
And looks like they want to make an offensive play. I don't really feel like they have the position to do it right now. I mean, they have to have like Razor frontlining in order to actually go on anybody. You're going into Eclipse in the jungle, then the Viper just got his Veil. Like, this is a scary place to be. This entire Dire jungle is very dangerous indeed. This ward is nice, but it almost seems to like be scouting out areas that you don't actually want to be. Oh, and they did get the block on these Ancients, so that's not going to be spawning anytime soon. That's pretty solid. But they do not know about the Smoke of Deceit, and that's could be very problematic if they run into the wrong hero.
Radiant's bottom tower
Viper
is
Strike
under
and Eclipse
attack.
very powerful right here. And they're actually not even going to go. They see enough heroes up top. They're like, screw it, we'll go for the pit. They've got amp damage. They've got Mask of Madness on Luna. They've already got it halfway down. Very, very nice. And although there is a bit of a mad dash from Mad Kings, it's going to be too late. Roshan is going down. The courier can scout out all they want, but it is going to be Roshan falling for Tisho. Popping up the Windows Curse just to delay 666. Where, oh where, is this team fight going to take place? Looks like it's just going to be both parties walking away. And Therence is very happy about that. Extremely confident with this Aegis the Immortal to just keep pushing, farming anywhere he wants. And sure, there can be some pressure up top, but Underlord gets if Underlord gets a level and can just Dark Rift to the top lane with his teammates, then they can respond to this as well. Alright, that's going to be Nether Toxin stolen by the Rubik. Pretty solid steal. A little bit of like aura and bash and stuff that it mutes. Not a really big deal, but nice. Yeah, I think the one that has the most important passive is going to be Anti-Mage with that spell shield.
Dire's middle tower
Assuming they can actually pin him down long enough for him to stand in it. Looking at overall net worth, we're going to be seeing move towards 4K for Tisha. And same thing with experience, but it'll shift back up a little bit in favor of the Radiant, as we do have Eureka finishing up that Battle Fury and farming like a madman. And I really feel like Mad Kings are kind of desperate to make a fight happen, but how do you do that against an Aegis? Like, you have to find like free pickoffs. You can't go into like a real 5-on-5 against this lineup at this point in time. So it's a bit awkward for them. As far as initiation goes, Slidar, no, who has Blink Dagger? Doesn't matter. We have Madara a little bit caught out. 666 gonna go ahead and speed himself away while Viper just pokes and prods at this top lane tower. You're gonna hear a ultimate from the Underlord, bring in the whole party. It looks like all 5 heroes up on the top lane, and this is where Tisho is very strong. Mad Kings have no choice but to dodge this fight. They'll trade a tier 1 tower, but they're gonna lose their top tier 2. Or as I say that, PTT, they rotate to respawn. Looking for the curse. 666 trapped inside to forcefully break down his own teammate, and the Ogre will follow. Now Slidar pursuing onto the Rubik. Oh, he gets the Guardian Sprint! He gets to speed his way through the water. That was a very nice spell steal, actually. That's probably the only thing that can help him there. Because the crush, like if he steals the amplification of damage, he's actually just screwed. But a corrosive haze, amp damage, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, he slips out of there, and somebody has a Blink Dagger. Oh, it's just Anti-Mage Blink sound effect I heard, I guess. But I know that there are going to be a couple blinks coming out pretty soon. 444's Blink Dagger. It's going to be up in just 200 gold. The Rubik also looking for one, but it's still going to be about 1,000 off of that one. And a Blade Mail pickup from this Razor. I mean, when you're dying a lot, I guess it's the best way to turn damage back the other way. And Omni can certainly help with that, but I don't know. Because it just doesn't add any raw HP, I can still see him easily burst it down before the Omni Knight even gets a chance to help him out. So it can be really good, but it really comes down to how Sword plays around him.
Radiant are scanning.
Alright, nice little Radiant scan pings out the Radiant jungle. Means that they know what's coming, and the Sword is in trouble. We'll get the repel, but they can just amp him and keep on hitting. Phase and Drums and Degen Aura, is it going to be enough to get him away? Oh, wow. Not able to find that kill. And in the meantime, they're getting some really good chip damage up top. Winter Wyvern in a rough spot. Does get focused really hard. All he can do is Cold Embrace, and that will buy time for Tisho to make their move. Winter gets ulted. 666 gets away. The supports will pay for the aggressive stance from Mad Kings.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So overall, T-Show rocking it right now. I don't expect that to change. Right now, I talked about this a bit in the draft, but Mad King's first 4 picks were very one-dimensional. The Anti-Mage has a few different options that, as the game progresses, he can take, but that's only if he has the right team behind him. The team behind him is all about taking fights early and just, you know, making an immortal hero. And even if Anti-Mage is 100% unkillable, the other 4 heroes still drop pretty quickly, and it's just, in general, they lack control. They lack a way to initiate a fight. The Rubik Blink is nice, but Blink Telekinesis can start a pickoff. It can't start a full 5-on-5 engagement, not against this team. Alright, Eclipse just going to be brought down just to try to burst the Omni Knight, and it's successful in that. Tier 2 goes down, Blink Crush sets up the Omni kill, and poor little Ochre dropping down again. And it just, you know, Slayden will play around on his broomstick here, but he's not in a good spot either. He does get the Guardian Sprint though! See you later, buddy! That is a 700 move speed Rubik. See, it just having no trouble slipping out of there. Yeah, it's kind of hard because, like, if you think about it, when you're chasing down a target, Slaughter, there's no way he gets another spell off, right? He's not going to be in range to Corrosive Haze, or he'd just be stunning you anyways. And same with the Crush. So whenever you try to charge a Rubik now, he's always going to get that Haze, or that Sprint. And that's a tough spot for the Omni Knight. Tries to get in range for the Purification, doesn't get there in time. And nice little fight, gonna have down bottom. There, it does not have Eclipse, doesn't really need it though. He's got a lot of raw damage output. The blade mail, however, is popped off, and 666 is gonna be able to put a lot of damage back the other way against that Abyssal Underlord. Now Omni has to pop GA on himself alone, going for the Shrine together, but you just buddy up to go in for the Witch's Curse. Great combo coming in from Lolling Blue, and now it's gonna be T-Show chasing him down. Crush will bring down the Omni Knight, and Rubik is next. He has a sprint in just 2 seconds, but it's 2 seconds too many, as he will be going down as well. Eureka should be able to slip himself away, but in the meantime, there's just too much against them. Those kinds of fights, they could do everything to try to turn it against them. Actually, Ochre falling down as gets chased by the flying, slowing machines. I don't really know what else to call them. Oh, that's a bad blink. Eureka in a bit of a rough patch and just gets obliterated. Jumps right in the middle of 5 heroes, unbeknownst to him. That is really unfortunate, and that's T-Show's call to action. They are very happy to be able to go in on this tier 2 tower. No split push happening whatsoever. Can they actually bring down Omni Knight in time, though? He will pop everything he's got. A couple more right clicks will be enough to bring him down. And that is 2 major kills towards ending this game as soon as possible. They have a 10k gold advantage. They want to make it that much more. Looking at the tier 3 tower, it's getting bigger. It's getting bloodlust here, and it's going to be enough for T-Show to back off. But they just got some beautiful pickups there. Anti-Mage, Omni Knight, and the tier 2 getting full map control right now. Yeah, there's like this single observer ward on the Radiant side, or on the Dire side from the Radiant, but the only thing that can really tell them is when T-Show are playing more passively. It doesn't actually indicate any opportunities to gank. There's no way they make it all the way across the map just to gank one carry. But as I say that, they're going to try for a smoke play, and you know, maybe not a carry, but this mid laner looks pretty tasty. They can just make it there in time. But he senses a little bit of danger, eats a couple of mangoes, has to scroll his pike, and it looks like he's going to be reconvening with his teammates. So that Radiant Ward does scout out Luna. This is pretty good intel. Knowing that Luna's not here for this fight is a really big deal, but she's going to be TPing in just a few moments. A double crush comes out, 444, rocking it as he goes in. Viper Strike up against the Omni Knight. He'll repel himself and run away, but that leaves Ogre in the dust. Mogre the Ogre drops himself down, and one more crush, not in time. I think he might have even gotten stunned in base there. It was so close, but the TP scroll does beat Omni away. And such a weird position for Mad Kings to be in. It seems like every single fight, the Omni Knight doesn't get a chance to protect others. He has to protect himself. He has to pop Repel and sometimes even Guardian Angel just to keep himself alive. And that makes it so easy for T-Show to focus anybody else for the next several seconds. They have a lot of damage. They have now plenty of sustain with the Guardian Greaves, and they're ready to end this game. At this point, you've got a 14k net worth Luna, and you found yourself a nice little Omni Knight treat. Can we get a bash? Not happening just yet, but in about 3 seconds, that repel's going to be gone. Is he going to go for it? Looking for the crush, but knows there's probably going to be a very quick lift to make that a very dangerous idea. Illusion combat favoring the AM. And he'll just, you know, cut the waves. He can just go out here and make it very difficult for them to push, or go to the jungle and do that too. But eventually he will have to come home. And that's got to be the goal of T-Show, is just to keep them stuck on their side of the map, huddled in a corner. In the meantime, Roshan goes up pretty soon. Radiant have to know with that quick skedaddle that they're looking at something along those lines, but, you know, just because you know what's happening doesn't mean you can do anything about it. And that looks like it's going to be an Aegis for Therence and a Cheese for PTT. Could go either way, though. If you want to siege low ground with the Aegis, then maybe PTT picks it up instead. Nope, the former. And that's fine. That works out really well, because this Luna is mega farm. I mean, she's got herself Mask of Mana's Pike, Manta, and she's working very quickly on that butterfly. And speaking of megas, we got ourselves a nice little ancient stack here that should be pretty tasty, but first and foremost, they found themselves a kill. And they'll go ahead and bring down Moger once again. Alright, so you've got T-Show. Started off this game strong with a first blood double kill. And, you know, sure they lost their Underlord a few times, but they took down the Razor that many times as well. He's 3-3-1. So at this point in the game, while it isn't something that you can call like 100%, you got to give T-Show a massive advantage. We're talking like 80-20 at least. I mean, how do they really get back in this game? Without initiation, like, there's not really much they can do other than T-Show just messing up. I mean, it might even be closer to like 90-10 or worse. Because the fact of the matter is, unless you're like stealing Blink Crush consistently, there's just no way for you to start a fight. And even if you do start a fight that way with a perfect one, you're probably just going to lose the Rubik immediately. So you trade an entire one of your 5 heroes for a single stun. It just doesn't work. I think the Blade Mail is a cute way of potentially turning a lot of damage against the Luna, but he needs to get more HP. Hurricane Pike gives him that 15 strength. He needs to get something more. That BKB hopefully is the answer. And it looks like we're ready to go out of the unpause. So Dagger is up for Slaughter Rubik. Anybody else picking up anything interesting? Wyvern gets the Glimmer Cape, which is really good at keeping Luna or just about anybody alive. PTT's already happy to go start sieging. Right up there, anything that is contested is going to be an opportunity. 666 already blowing the Blade Mail. He could get the ulti here. Lolling Blue looking for it. No. Gonna be the Glyph. Gonna be Razor pulling back. And they're gonna just head back to find the Anti-Mage. Gonna see a Spell Steal onto... Whoa, is he actually gonna die? Wow, that was close. And they're going. Where are they going? They're going bottom. I feel like you just cast that just to cast it. I mean, I guess you do have some split push potential, like get the carry to the farm faster, but you know, this isn't a school bus here, kids. This is supposed to be a getaway car. Very interesting. You know, when you get a Dark Rift as a Rubik, sometimes you just really don't know what you're supposed to do with it. You think, okay, well, am I going to hold on to this for like 3 more minutes and, you know, decide down the road if it's going to be the game changer? I don't know. I mean, you could treat it like a relocate, right? Like, you could Dark Rift your Fountain and then just blink on top of somebody instead of tethering, and there you go. But holding it for that amount of time, it just, I don't know, it feels a little wrong when you could just be just grabbing spells left and right for the fight. Alright, so, end of the day, Anti-Mage does get some damage here onto the tier 3. Obviously, they only have the one tier 2 tower down. So, Mad King, specifically Yorita, is doing the best he can with this butterfly, but it just feels like no matter what he does, it might not be enough. Ogre caught out again. AM just leaves the illusion behind and heads on out. Down bottom, actually going to be some action going on here. Rubik steals the Nether Toxin, but then just gets dropped anyways. And Razor tries what he can. He gets 148 damage. Is it going to be enough to bring down the Winter Wyvern? It looks like it. No getting away for Falling Blue. PT. And there's actually going to be some good use of the Unstable Current here. Brings PTT low, but in the end just can't keep pace with him. And 444 gets back in the action. Clarence may be low mana, but is happy to keep pressuring. And at the very least, I feel like Mad Kings have waited out the Sages, and that's a big deal. Right now, you've only gotten like 600 damage against their tier 3 tower, so time well spent with that pressure on the top lane. This Aegis is not going to be lasting too much longer.
Blessings upon a loyal warrior.
$11,000 net worth, 11,000 experience. Lot going for T-Show at this particular moment. We'll see what Mad Kings can do. Now they're up against Luna with a butterfly. Both Anti-Mage and Luna are benefiting from this item a lot. But I don't know, it's still, at this point in time, really, really hard for Luna to go down. And she's going to go for the AC, not the Satanic. If she had the Satanic, maybe she could just end the game through raw sustain durability. But, you know, AC is pretty solid too. AC is more helping the Viper Siege than forcing Luna to get in the middle of the fight. Ogre? How many times has this guy died? 11 deaths of the 25 on his team. This guy's just caught between a rock and a hard place. So Viper picks up the MKB. Not the item it used to be. 75% chance to give that 60 pure damage and to guarantee a hit on the target. Anti-Mage's still gonna be able to dodge about 1/9 of the time, I guess, would be the rough estimate. No, 1/12 of the time. Yeah, that's math. Anyways, still gonna have some evasion, even if it's not as much as it would be. But the real question is high ground. How do they break it? Do they have to wait for the refresher shard? Double Eclipse would be absolutely amazing if it doesn't fall into Rubik's hands in the meantime. Or you could go for the double Dark Rift, and Dark Rift back to your base. Kill AM, and then Dark Rift back to the front lines to win the game. You never know. That's a joke. Some people might not pick up on that, but Yorita is able to pick up the tier 2 tower. And T-Show chill. They're like, yeah, we'll get our lanes pushed out. We'll get some more farm. Who doesn't like more farm? You play turbo mode, just get like all your items in 20 minutes. It's pretty nice. At this point though, the Anti-Mage is accumulating quite a bit of farm himself. Grabs the BKB butterfly. I think you've got an Omni Knight, you've got a Repel, which is not dispellable in any way. But sometimes you just want more. Sometimes you just want to be able to guarantee, no matter where you're on the map, just make yourself immune. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough game no matter what. And it might be slightly better than Heart, but I wouldn't say it's much better. They'll go for the Abyssal Blade next, which I think is probably the item that I would have gone for. Alright, Shiva's Guard going to come out on 666 as well, so a lot of armor helping out against the physical damage coming through. Helps a lot against it if you're amp damage. And stalking. They're trying to go ahead and kill off the Luna, but 444 breaks the smoke. Now tries to go in and help out the Luna. Therence takes some big hits, but 444 is kind of the punching bag right now. And they all go right into Hijack's hit. A big ultimate coming through. Guardian Angel with the BKB though, and Therence should be dropping. No, it's Glimmer. Plus the Golden Break. Can Therence get away? He's running. He's fluttering. He's trying to survive, and he will finally fall. But in the meantime, it's PTT doing the deeps. Dropping down the anti-mage and killing off the ogre as well. Sladen does grab himself a nice little Winter's Curse, and it's the Wyvern herself beating down on the Slardar. But it's a very fast Slardar looking for a kill and will be in range for that Blink Crush. Telekinesis comes through. Spell Steal, can he get it? Get that Guardian? Oh, it's a amp. 444 learned from his previous encounters, and he is going to be able to prevent Sladen from stealing the Guardian Sprint, and will be able to bash him down for PTT. God-like Viper. How often do you see that one? 10-0 and 12. As this guy is now rocking it with, not the top net worth, but a very solid amount of gold per minute. Apparently see him. Weird. Alright, so yeah, 512 GPM, net worth of 18k, and now just going to be walking right up to the high ground. Luna is down, however, so it's all on Viper's shoulders. Gonna go for the crush, gets the stun. Is it enough to bring him down? Yes, the Omni's down! And they're gonna have to start doing buybacks. Smoker, the Ogre, is down as well. PTT backing off, but just pops the cheese. And now 666 is very low. He gets crushed and is taking down to 500 HP. I think with some follow-up there, Viper might have gotten that kill, but a little miscommunication. And is that a buyback? Is that a buyback on the Omni, a BOT from the Luna? And now how do you fight this? You've got 4 heroes, but it feels like you're going to need a lot more as they break the Static Link and the Blade Mail expires. Now they get the Curse, they get the Crush, and they're going in hard. Rubik going to be the first they try to drop down. MKB proc and a lot of poison attack damage. But Rubik will be able to slip away with the Firestorm in hand. Poking and prodding at this Rax, trying to bring it down. There is no glyph available. They have to go now, but it's a crush. Nice repel onto the Razor, going in, trying to do some major damage. He steals Viper's attack damage. He's only hitting for 30. And now they chase down the Slaughter. Now they're looking for more. It's going to be an Underlord ultimate to get them all away. Oh boy, what an escape. Yeah, that was a really solid static, like 183 damage from the Viper. One of the best heroes to steal from. And they'll try to take that into Roshan. Bloodlust. Eye of the Storm. Slardar buys back. Omni's buyback is on cooldown. He has to be careful. He can't get caught out like this. This is very dangerous as he repels and does not. Oh my god, they could have just killed him. They didn't even need a fast. They had the damage. But either way, Luna going in with the massive Eclipse, doing massive damage. And while Anti-Mage may give himself an Aegis, there's no getting away from this one. Oh, down they all go. A triple kill for Therence. They invade the pit, and they send Mad Kings packing. A double damage Luna fluttering into the pit and blasting them all away. How do you recover from this? I don't know if you do. Just way too much. Luna doing 3,500 damage. Nearly the combined HP pool of the entire Mad Kings team. And Omni could have died too. For sure. And if he died without buyback, I think it would just be game over. But he is alive for the moment. Anti-Mage with buyback available is going to have to pop it soon. Rubik caught out. Rubik dead. Like, what do you do in this situation? You're just gone. And Knight really can't help him. They'll take the mid lane of Rax. They'll take the bottom lane as well. And Anti-Mage still withholding buyback unless they go for the top lane. He can't fight Megas, so he's going to have to buy back here anyway. I'm not exactly sure why he held it. Maybe because to sync up with the Razor. But either way, the Razor's not going to be up in time as Therence just clobbers down the barracks. There's no glyph. There's no chance. And they'll just go for the disengage. Winter's Curse. He cancels the Dark Rift as they go in for the finisher here. Hexed up. Anti-Mage does get repelled. Does go in, trying to find a single target to go on, but he can't hit the damn Luna. He's just getting right-click down. One more hit, and Eureka is gone. That's T-Show taking it at 37 minutes, finishing off game 1 of this best-of-3 series in style. What a hell of a fight in the Roche pit, and that is Show.Rising, victorious here in the first game of this best of 3. Whew. So that is gonna be one solid game to start off the South American qualifier for Galaxy Battles. Hopefully we get many more exciting games like that one going into the rest of the series and the rest of this event. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. I myself am Blaze at Blaze Casting, covering some SA Dota for you guys here, at least for this first match. So we're going to go into a short break, and then we'll be coming back with Game 2 of Mad Kings versus T-Show.